Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a progression guide 2022. Now I did a progression guide last year, actually April 2021, which looked a little bit like this and let's face it, it's not up to date with the current meta. So what I really wanted to do is chart a new course, especially something that sets up stages in the game. There's roughly 64 pieces of content within the game, whether or not it's like monthly repeating stuff like Cavalier difficulty, Master difficulty, right the way through to Act 7.3, Act 7.2, Act 6.1. All of these pieces of content adds up. But it definitely puts you in a perspective of, okay, what is the best piece of content or route of content grind that is better for me, better for you, better for anybody? This is why what I've done is I've created, and link is in the description by the way, a progression guide for 2022 that looks over 8 stages of the game, especially from going from your very early stages to very latter stages. It also takes into consideration things like acquiring more 5 stars, acquiring more 565 materials, rank 3 6-star materials, getting to Uncollected, getting to Cavalier, and all those things. And I think what's really the best thing to do about it is showcase it and also kind of go into details as to why I've chosen certain routes. Do bear in mind you can go your own way with this, but yeah, I kind of feel this is a good way to kind of go. Now there's reasons as to why going down these certain routes, but what we're going to focus on is the stages, the number of the content, and as well the type of content. All of which information wise is in the description down below. So from your early stages into the game, this is you largely getting through the content. Kabam have made some certain nerfs to the content, which you can see on screen right now between Act 1 and Act 3, and even some parts of Act 4, which means that the content is a lot more grindable. There's a lot less time that needs to be kind of invested into it, and you can find yourself smashing through a good chunk of that very early on. One thing as well to mention is that when you're in these early stages, the starting off stages of the game, this is when you're going to be acquiring mastery items, and doing classic versions of the variants can be a good starter point, and saving up your units, which is going to be helpful down the line as well. You're also going to be looking to do your initial clear or kind of clearing Realm of Legends. Also when it comes to Act 4, thinking about Act 5 and pushing through that to 100% as well, getting those rank up materials for 4 stars, thinking about your 5 stars, and making those early gains. Stage 2 looks at the 100%ing of Act 5 and going through all of that, because at the end of the day that is going to be one of the best places to start off making progress with 5 stars, making progress with 6 stars, and going, right, well, I'm going to try and push the Cavalier title as quickly as possible for what I get back from it, and as well joining a competitive enough alliance that gives some stuff back, maybe thinking about map 5, maybe even map 6, because it's not out of the realms of you know, ridiculousness, that you'll be kind of pushing to get you know, more rank up materials a lot quicker from getting map crystals, and also having a good weekly ranking with that. Also Alliance Wars, but you know, that's just up to you whether or not you fall down that line. Okay, stage 3 is all about the business end. The business end is all about you making advancements and thinking about the future and preparing for getting that Thronebreaker titleage. A lot of people will rush through to get this, but the problem is with that is you might need a more kind of varied roster and different things. This will see you grinding out things like variant difficulties, and also looking to things like your Act 6 progression. You may try and do a completion of it, but I would say if you want to get more rank up materials for your 5 stars and making those gains, these current variants are great. Some are better than others, but yeah, anything that's kind of a variant 7, variant 8 to a degree. I haven't put variant 8 on this because I kind of feel like it's kind of below, because it wasn't great. It's okay, but it's not great. One key thing will be acquisition of 6-star shards, 5-star shards, and rank up materials. Cavalier difficulty once a month being 100%ed is going to be a key thing. So yeah, stage 3 is all about making those improvements to your 5-star 565s, because when you get into stuff like further in Act 6 and even into Act 7, you will need to have certain 565s to take on certain things, because the chip damage, anything lower, can be quite annoying. On to stage 4, this is going to be more the business end. If we thought stage 3 was all about the business end, this is getting more into the business. The more into the business of acquisition of 6 stars, tier 5 class catalysts, which become more of a kind of a key thing to grab. And this will see you do things like more emphasis on the completion of Act 6 and Act 6.2, 0.3, maybe 6.4, or you're moving on instead to focus on Act 7, which I gotta be honest is rather enjoyable, especially if you're looking to pick up more rank 3 6 stars, which is something that you know, I've kind of had more emphasis on doing this, and it's just more fun. Act 7 is a lot more fun. It has some of the best or interesting and vibrant content Kabam have produced. In other areas, not so much, but you know, it's the best place to go to pick up stuff. And as well, looking to pick up that Thronebreaker titleage. So that's the other thing as well. Picking up Thronebreaker title is all about the grind in Act 7, but also could be other things as well. So you have a choice whether or not you want to go down Abyss of Legends and do initial completion, which could be one of the best things to do in order to get yourself that balance there. If it costs you 2,000 units, it costs you 3,000 units, it costs you no units, at least to say you've done that, you've got a Thronebreaker title, and what you can get back is really good. You can make some real kind of big advancements into your roster if you've got the Thronebreaker title list from a calendar, from the content you might be able to do and have access to, but also the Thronebreaker Daily Crystal, which is something personally I actually massively enjoy. Stage 5 is all about more business. This is the proper business element to this. This is where you're going to be seeing yourself go through the completion side of things of everything and 100%ing. So if you say like, oh, completion of Act 7.1 to 7.4, which you may not be ready for, it definitely kind of like say like, this is the point to 100%. 100%ing kind of leads you to a point of which is different from stage 4, and that's all about trying to get more tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha fragments, because it is just massively important to do so. And that's a stage where I'm currently at the moment. I'm pushing to get more tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha fragments, especially from what is seen to be the rewards you get from the end of 100%ing Act 7. It seems a little bit more better for my investment time, resources and units to be going down the route of that, and I would kind of say that's normally the thing right here is look to like what is the best and easiest way to get the tier 6 basic fragments, and also versus time allocation, which in some cases doing one path of doing Act 7.3 was taking me about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more to do the boss, which is a little bit better on time allocation than it would be to do some other content that would kind of not, it would take maybe a little bit longer, maybe a bit stressful, maybe a bit more kind of like invest into like the grind, which I'm not all about. But this is definitely kind of the way to go with it, to pick up those tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha fragments. The final 3 stages come in shape and form of just it's up to you. Whether or not this is a case of doing the end game content because you want more tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha, which puts you down the line of Carinas challenges. I've currently done 3 Carinas challenges and I do find them very enjoyable. The volume 2 is better than the volume 1 just based on the type of acquisition, and as soon as I have 100% of 7.4, I'll be going to do things like this, which is the come out and play, or maybe any of the others that like Revolution. And that's kind of the great thing about like waiting for that content, waiting to do Carinas challenges before 100%ing things like Act 6.4 and Act 6.3 and all those Act 6 stuff, because it encourages you to go back and also at the same time get something better as a result to kind of encourage you to 100% things, which is what I'm going to be doing very soon. The also other element to this is like where the other stages come in, and that is where this content is going to be rewarding. The reason I've put things like Act 6.3 to 6.2 last, again, as I said, like it's best to kind of look at those Carinas challenges to factor in your grind in any kind of way. Abyss of Legends is a unit dump, but it's kind of like it's up to you whether or not you go back with rank 4 6 stars and make it easier, or if you're incredibly skilled at the game, you may choose to do that. However, meta of the game does indeed shift, and maybe some of those rewards don't factor into what players are interested in grinding out. The same way you could look at things like Variant 1 Ultron's Assault and Labyrinth for Legends. Like, I did Labyrinth for Legends before the release of Act 7, and I kind of felt like it didn't really kind of mean much to my roster, but at the same time, it was something off my back, and as a lot of time, we as players are kind of just trying to get content off our back. But the point still and always remain, where you go in game has to be rewarding for what you're doing. And if you're not finding it rewarding at the point of an end game, then we've got a problem and Kabam needs to sort that out. So that may be the case of you. That's where you want to go down that route of if you're looking to 100% anything. But that has been my progression guide for 2022. I think it's a lot better than 2021 because it factors everything into stages of grind. Things that me and Dan talk about in the podcast a lot is acquisition of champions, 5 stars, bringing your roster sideways as opposed to vertically. So it's saying like, okay, we'll get many 565s, many rank 3 6-stars to deal with situations that you may find problematic, and that may be kind of like a process for you. But that has been a video. Thank you very much for watching. Links to that particular guide are in the spreadsheet link down below. Make sure as well to check out some other content which is on screen, and I'll support the channel as I do more guides and I'm trying to up-to-date more guides. I didn't say that right in any case, but I'm trying to make more up-to-date guides. But yeah, cheers everybody. See you soon. Bye bye.